t minus tau d tau. Okay, I did one small mistake in the notes. Okay, so if you just note it down. Okay, so what it is, I'll take pi. Anyway, pi is a constant, so I'll take pi outside. So 1 by pi integral minus t by 2 to t by 2 g of tau value is 1 divided by t minus tau d tau. Here I need to integrate with respect to tau. Okay, t is a some constant. Okay, so tau I need to integrate it with respect to tau. Okay, so 1 by t integral 1 by t or 1 by x dx can be represented as ln of x. Okay, so I'll use the same thing here. So 1 by pi, but since I'm integrating with respect to tau, let me take minus common in this. So minus t by 2 to t by 2 1 by tau minus t d tau. So since I have written as tau minus t, I have to take a negative sign common. So let me write that negative sign outside. Okay, so this is equal to minus 1 by pi integral 1 by x is nothing but ln of x, and I need ln of what I have in place of x I have tau minus t, and here the limits are anyway in divided by integral of tau will be divided by 1 it will be. So tau is equal to minus t by 2 to t by 2. Now substitute the limits. Substitute the limits. So this will be equal to minus 1 by pi ln of tau minus t. In place of tau, I need to substitute the limit. So minus t by 2 to this entire thing I'll take common, minus t by 2 to minus tau minus upper limit and lower limit I need to substitute, and lower, so sorry, first I need to substitute the upper limit. Upper limit is t by 2. So t by 2 minus t minus 1 by pi common minus ln of, I need to substitute the lower limit. Lower limit is minus t by 2 minus t. Okay, take this negative sign inside. So 1 by pi, it will become ln of minus t by 2 minus t by 2 t minus ln of t by 2 minus t. So you know that ln of a minus ln of b can be represented as ln of a by b. The same thing I'll write here. So this is equal to 1 by pi ln of minus t by 2 minus t divided by t by 2 minus t. In the numerator, what I'll do, I'll take minus common. Numerator and denominator, I'll take minus common. So it will become is equal to 1 by pi ln of minus, I'll take common. So it will be t plus t by 2 divided by, here also in the denominator I will take minus common, so t minus t by 2. Okay, so this minus and this minus will get cancelled. So finally I'll be left out with 1 by pi ln of t plus t by 2 divided by t minus t by 2. This is what your final g cap of t. G cap of t. Okay. Hey, Sonu. Okay, so this is the complete Hilbert transform of the given signal. Okay, so let me just show you the complete thing together. So here if you observe, I need to find the Hilbert transform of this signal g of t, which is given as g of t is equal to 1 from minus t by 2 to, so this indicates it is from minus t by 2 to plus t by 2. Okay, so minus t by 2 to plus t by 2, and otherwise it is a 0. So the same thing I have represented in the form in the graphical form. Okay, then now I need to find g cap of t. Okay, so g cap of t, I have the formula g of t convolution with 1 by pi t, which is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity g of tau divided by t minus tau d tau. I'm not directly using the shift of minus 90 degrees because it is a non-sinusoidal signal. Since it is a non-sinusoidal signal, I have like I am not using the shift directly. Either I can use this convolution formula or I have to go with the frequency domain. So I can, since the values from minus pi by 2 to minus t by 2 to t by 2, it is 1. So I can easily do it using the integral formula. Okay, so I have used the convolutional integral formula, and here from g of tau or g of t or g of tau, both are same only. So g of tau, when that value is existing from minus pi t by 2 to t by 2, and its value is 1. Okay, so 1 by pi t minus tau. Pi is a constant, so I have taken it out. Okay, and here the integration is with respect to tau. So that is the reason what I did. From the denominator I have taken minus common. Okay, that minus I have written here. Okay, since I have taken minus common, it is 1 by tau minus t d tau. Okay, and you already know integral 1 by x is nothing but ln of x. The same thing I have written, and now here I have to substitute the limits for tau is equal to minus t by 2 to plus t by 2. Okay, so I have substituted the limits. So I've got in this way. Now what I did, I have used the formula log a minus log b can be represented as log a by b. So log a by b. So this is my a and this is my b. I've represented in the same way, and in the numerator I've taken minus common, and in the denominator also I've taken minus common, so that both will get cancelled, and finally the g cap of t, the Hilbert transform of given signal g of t, is nothing but this function. Okay, that's all with the problems. I think I've covered enough problems, and one last problem I want to do. Okay. That is, note down the question. Note down the question. Find the Hilbert transform of low pass signal whose low pass signal g of t, low pass signal g of t, whose Fourier transform is given by g of f and the and the magnitude spectrum of magnitude of G of f is given. G of f is as shown. Okay. This is a frequency G of f and the signal is minus omega 2 minus omega 2 plus omega. Okay. Okay, so this is a given signal. For this I need to find the Hilbert transform. Okay, so how will we find the Hilbert transform? G of t is nothing but G cap of t is nothing but G of t convolution with 1 by pi t. Okay, so you can directly take the Fourier transform. If given G of t, the Fourier transform of this is nothing but G of f. Okay, now I need to find the G of t. The Fourier transform is nothing but G cap of f. So I need to find G cap of f now. So let me find G cap of f. So G cap of f is nothing but G of f into h of f, where h of f is nothing but what is the h of f generally? G of t is nothing but G of f. This I have just represented with h of t. So h of t is nothing but h of f. But what is h of f? It is nothing but the Fourier transform of 1 by pi t. What is the Fourier transform of 1 by pi t? Somebody answer me, no?
Minus j sigma of f.
Minus j sigma of f. Right. So it is nothing but minus j into f into sum of. So here I don't know what is the signal G of t, but I know spectrum G of to me. This is nothing but G of f. G of x is G of f is existing from minus infinity to plus infinity. That should be multiplied with signum function minus 1 for x less than 0. Okay, this get multiplied with minus j. Okay, when it get multiplied with minus j, this will be equal to into minus j. The signal will be equal to plus j for f less than 0 and minus j for f less than f greater than 0. Okay, so this is nothing but your complete function h of f. Okay, so this is only the signal function multiplied with h of f, which is minus j for positive frequencies and plus j for negative frequencies. This is my h of f signal. Okay, these two will get multiplied. When these two get multiplied, how will be the signal? Your signal will be, your spectrum will be in this way. See, same from minus infinity to 0. From minus infinity to 0, it will get multiplied with minus j. So you'll have the spectrum in this way. But whereas for the positive frequencies, minus j will get multiplied with the positive. So your spectrum will be ulta in this way. Okay, this is nothing but your G cap of f. Okay, and this is your frequency domain. Okay, here also it is frequency domain. Whenever I'm representing G of f, H of f, all that, the graph will be with respect to frequency. Okay, x-axis will be frequency. Whenever I'm writing as G of t, G cap of t, then the graph will be, the x-axis will be t. Okay, so here what is happening? This is my low pass signal. Generally, low pass signal, the spectrum will be in this way. When this spectrum get multiplied with H of f, the G cap of t, whatever the G cap of f, whatever I'm getting, the signal will be in this way. Okay, I will not find G cap of t because I don't know what is this function, what is this function, what is this function, that I don't know. So I'll just leave it here. I have done this, okay, only to show that the G cap of t consists of both negative frequencies and the positive frequencies. Okay, so here I have the signal both for the positive frequencies and the negative frequencies. Okay, for f greater than 0 also I have the function, f greater than 0 also I have the function, and f less than 0 also I have the function. Okay, so here what I need to do, I need to see, I want to represent the signal only for the, see, the low pass signal. Okay, so this is nothing but the spectrum of the low pass signal. It means that this signal G of t is a low pass signal. Okay, so the Hilbert transform of that also, it is having both low frequency components and the high frequency components. Not the low frequency, negative frequency components and the positive frequency components. So if I want to have only the positive frequency components, if I want to represent the signal G of t only with the positive frequency of signal, or only with the negative frequency of signal, then I have to introduce a new terminology and the new concept, which is said to be the pre-envelope. Envelope. Okay, so pre-envelope, what it will do, it will help me to represent the signal G of t only with the positive frequencies or only with the negative frequencies. Okay, so that is where I'll be using this pre-envelope. Okay, so here I've just found all this, like G of f multiplied with H of f, and then I've got G cap of f, only to show that when you're finding the Hilbert transform, the signal, whatever signal, the phase shifted signal is having both positive frequencies and the negative frequencies. So if we are in need of representing the signal G of t only with the positive frequencies or only with the negative frequencies, then we'll be using a concept called as pre-envelope. Okay, so we will go to the pre-envelope now. Before going to the pre-envelope, that's all with respect to the Hilbert transform. So anybody have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, and you may ask, I've already explained you like why Hilbert transform is required. Okay, so as I'm mentioning, like if you want to have the signal, low pass signal only with the positive frequencies or only with the negative frequencies, I'll be using this Hilbert transform. Okay, so I can represent that signal by using the Hilbert transform. That is a main application of Hilbert transform. I'll take the new page. Okay, so let me start the next topic. It is nothing but the pre-envelopes. Pre-envelopes. Okay, so pre-envelopes are used to get only either the positive frequencies. See, if we have taken the Hilbert transform, we have got like this. Or okay, let me take the low pass signal only. So low pass signal, it is denoted like this: G of f, the spectrum, the frequency spectrum is from minus omega to plus omega. If I want to have the spectrum only with the positive frequencies, that means like this, only with the positive frequencies from 0 to omega, or from minus omega to 0, okay, only the positive frequencies, then that kind of representation can be achieved by using the pre-envelopes. Okay, so that is what the main use of here pre-envelope. Okay, so this is the signal. G of t is a signal. G of t is a signal with frequency spectrum given by frequency spectrum given by this. Okay, minus omega to omega. So now I want to represent this signal only by the positive frequencies. So positive frequencies. Okay, so that can be represented as G plus of t. G plus of t is said to be the pre-envelope. Which can be given by the formula to find the pre-envelope is given by G of t, the original signal, low pass signal, plus J times of G cap of t. Okay, so this is where the Hilbert transform will come into the picture. Okay, so let me repeat the statements again. So any low pass signal, if I have low pass signal, will have both the negative frequencies and the positive frequencies. Okay, so if we want to have only the positive frequencies, okay, or only the negative frequencies. Okay, so I think you people would have heard about single sideband modulation. Have you heard about single sideband modulation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there what we'll do, we'll send only the positive frequencies. Only one sideband will be sent, right? So in such applications, what we want only the either the positive frequencies of the signal or the negative frequencies of the signal. That can be represented by using pre-envelope. Okay, G plus of t is said to be the pre-envelope, which is given by G of t plus G cap of t. Okay, so ma'am, we are saying it by using this will only have the positive frequencies. So let us analyze whether we are getting only the positive frequencies or we have both. Okay, in order to do that, what we can do, we can take the inverse, Fourier transform of this signal. So if for G of t, if the Fourier transform is G of f, and for G cap of t, if the Fourier transform is G cap of f, and if G plus of t, the Fourier transform is G plus of f, then apply this to this, I'll consider as 2. Apply this 2 to 1, so that your G plus of f will be equal to G of t. G of t is nothing but G of f plus J times of G cap of f. Okay, and we already know this indicates it is nothing but the positive frequencies. Okay, for this signal will give positive frequencies. So G plus of t is given by G of t plus G cap of t. Okay, so I'm saying orally that this will give me only the positive frequencies. So I have to analyze whether I'm really having only the positive frequencies or I have negative frequencies also. In order to find out that, what I've done, I have taken the Fourier transform of all this, like G of t. If G of t is G of f, G cap of, or let G of t is equal to G of f, G cap of t is nothing but G cap of f, G cap of t is nothing but G plus of f. Then apply this 2 to 1, so that your G plus of t, its Fourier transform is G plus of f, that is equal to G of t, the Fourier transform is G of f, plus G cap of t, it is nothing but G cap of f. Okay, so this I'll consider as equation 3. Okay, now we already know what is G cap of f. G cap of f is nothing but G of f. This is nothing but the Hilbert transform, right? G of f into H of f. H of f is nothing but minus J signum of f. Okay, so this I'll consider as 4. Now what you do? Substitute 4 in 3. Okay, So what it will be? G plus of f is equal to g of f plus j into g cap of f. In place of g cap of f, I'll substitute g of f. Equation 4. I'll substitute 4 in 3. So g cap of f in place of g cap of f, I'll write g of f into minus j signum of f. Okay, so this is equal to g of f. It will become minus j square minus j square g of f into signum of f. Right? Anybody have doubts until here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll go with the next step. So here, if you observe, j square is nothing but minus 1. Minus 1 into minus, it will be plus. Okay, so my next equation changes to g plus of f is equal to g of f minus j into j, it is nothing but minus j square. Minus j square is nothing but plus 1. So 1 g of f into signum of f. Okay, and here if you observe, g of f is getting multiplied with signum of f. Okay, so what happens? Signum of f, you know that signum of f is equal to, I'll write to the left side. We know that signum of f is equal to plus 1 for f greater than 0, is equal to 0 for s is equal to 0, is equal to minus 1 for f less than 0. Okay, so the same thing I'll substitute in this equation. This let me name as 5. Okay, so and this I'll name as 6. Substitute 6 in 5. Okay, let me make it small. So it is nothing but g plus of g plus of f is equal to g of f. Let me first take f greater than 0. When f is greater than 0, the signum function value is 1. 1 into g of f, it will become g of f. Okay, which is nothing but 2 g of f. This is all for when f is equal to f greater than 0. Now, when f is equal to 0, g of f signum function is 0. Okay, so g of f, f is equal to 0, I can directly substitute in place of f, I'll take as 0 only. So g of 0 plus g of f into 0. Okay, so this is nothing but I'll have g of 0 when f is equal to 0. Next, once again, let me take this little up. Okay. Next, third case, when f less than 0. For f less than 0, it will be equal to g of f. If you observe here, g of f will get multiplied with signum of f. Signum of f value is minus 1. Minus 1 into g of f, it will be minus g of f. Okay, so g of f minus g of f. So its value will be equal to 0. Right. Okay, so let me write this again. Let me make it short. Are you people able to see the screen? Are you people able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Let me rewrite this final expression. Let me rewrite. So G plus of F is equal to 2G of F, 2G of F for F greater than 0 is equal to G of 0 for F is equal to 0 and is equal to 0 for F greater than 0. Okay, so this is the spectrum of G kappa or G plus of F. Okay, so can you tell me how is the spectrum? It is having the frequency only when F is greater than 0. For F less than 0, the spectrum is not available. So if you try to draw it graphically, then it will be like this. G plus of F will be equal to 2G of F for the positive frequencies. Okay, so it will be from 0 to omega only with the maximum amplitude of 2G of F. This is nothing but 2G of F. This is your G plus of F. Okay, so from this I can say that when I take the envelope of G of T, I am able to get only the positive frequencies. Negative frequencies are eliminated. Okay, so that's all the explanation here. Here pre-envelope is the next concept of Hilbert transform. But as I've already mentioned, everything is interlinked. Okay, so here I need to find the pre-envelope. Why pre-envelope is required? Okay, so generally the low pass signal spectrum will be like this, minus omega to omega. Okay, so this G of F, the spectrum of G of T consists of both negative frequencies and also the positive frequencies. Okay, so in some of the applications I will not be in need of both positive frequencies and the same negative frequencies. In that case I need to represent the low pass signal only with the positive frequencies or only with the negative frequencies. So first I have whatever G plus of T I have written here, it is the pre-envelope of G of T, which is giving only the positive frequencies of the signal G of T. Okay, so that can be generally represented as G plus of T is equal to G of T. I will just take the notes. In notes I have written very clearly only. One second. Okay, so generally the pre-envelope, okay. Okay, so the low pass signal, it will have both the positive frequencies and the negative frequencies, and even if you take the Hilbert transform of that, you have both positive frequencies also and the negative frequencies also. Okay, so if you want to have, in some applications will be in need of only the positive frequencies or only the negative frequencies. In that case what we'll do, we'll represent the G of T signal by using the pre-envelope. The pre-envelope of G of T is given as G plus of T. This G plus indicates it is giving the positive frequencies of G of T signal. Okay, so that is denoted as G of T plus J G cap of T. Okay, so this is the general representation of the pre-envelope. Okay, general representation of the pre-envelope. Okay, so now I am just telling it orally that it will give me only the positive frequencies. In order to analyze whether it is really giving the positive frequencies or not, so let us take the frequency domain of this g plus of t, this equation 1. Okay, so here I've assumed that g plus of t, it is g plus of f, g of t, g of f, g cap of t, g cap of f. So g plus of f will be nothing but g of f plus j g cap of f. So equation 1, whatever equation I have here, I have applied Fourier transform for the same. So I've got g plus of t, it is g plus of f, g of t, it is g of f, g cap of t, g cap of f. Okay, now what I did, we already know what is g cap of f. G cap of f is nothing but g of f into h of f. G of f into h of f is nothing but g of f into minus j signum of f. Okay, so in place of g cap of f, I have substituted g of f into minus j signum of f. Now you multiply this entire thing to j. Okay, so I'll get as minus j square g of f signum of f. J square is minus 1. J square is minus 1. So here it is in place of j square, I have to substitute minus 1. So when I substitute minus 1 here, minus 1 into 1, it will be plus. So it will be plus signum of f into g of f function. Okay, now we already know what is signum of f function. Signum of f function is 1 for f greater than 0, equal to 0 for f is equal to 0, and minus 1 for f less than 0. F less than 0. Okay, now what I'm doing, you substitute this third equation in second, so that you have got, you'll get like this g of f. One second, let me show all together. Okay, when f greater than 0, the signum function value is 1. So 1 into g of f, it will be g of f plus g of f. For f is equal to 0, it will become g of 0 plus signum function is 0. So g of 0 plus 0, f is equal to 0. Next, when for the negative frequencies, the signum function value is minus 1. So here I'll have minus 1. Minus 1 into g of f, it will be minus g of f. So this is the equation. So the same thing, I have just added, subtracted everything, and I've written g plus of f is nothing but g of f plus g of f. It is nothing but 2g of f. G of 0 plus 0, it will be g of 0. And g of f minus g of f, it is 0. So from this equation itself, you can say that I have only the positive frequencies, but I don't have any negative frequencies. The same thing is represented in the form of graphical representation of the same. So this is a g of f signal, and its pre-envelope is g plus of f. Okay, g plus of f. This is the pre-envelope of given signal g of f. Okay, so pre-envelope will give you only the positive frequencies of the low pass signal g of t. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody have doubts until here? You can ask me. Otherwise, I'll just in the next class we'll see how to find the negative frequencies alone. Okay, so positive frequencies, how to find the pre-envelope. Okay, positive for positive frequencies. In the next part, I've just written like you can find the pre-envelope. See, in the exam they may ask, they may give some signal and they may ask you to find the pre-envelope. So this pre-envelope can be obtained in two methods. One is the time domain approach and the next one is the frequency domain approach. Time domain approach in this is directly by taking these signals we'll find the pre-envelope of the signal. Okay, so you always remember g plus of t or x plus of t, this indicates a pre-envelope. Okay, this plus indicates a pre-envelope. Okay, so either you can use a time domain method where g plus of t is nothing but g of t plus j g cap of t. Directly you can use this formula. This is in the time domain. Directly you can use this and find the pre-envelope. Or the other method is frequency domain, whatever I have shown you now. Okay, so first step, you need to take g of t. For g of t, g of f should be taken, and then obtain G plus of F. So you'll get 2G of F. Okay, and you'll get G plus of F, but we don't want G plus of F, but we want G plus of T. Okay, to get G plus of T, you need to take inverse Fourier transform of G plus of F. Okay, so inverse Fourier transform, it is given as G plus of T is equal to integral 0 to infinity. I have taken from 0 to infinity. This is only because the signal, this function is existing only for the positive frequencies. To show that, here I have taken from 0 to infinite. So G plus of F e power j 2 pi ft df. Okay, in place of G plus of F, I can directly substitute 2G of F. Okay, 2G of F is substituted. 2 is a constant. I've taken it out. Okay, so using this, you'll get G plus of T. Okay, so whenever you want to find the pre-envelope of any signal, low pass signal, okay, low pass signal, you can just use this formula and you can find this procedure, the frequency domain approach or the time domain approach, and you can find the pre-envelope of the signal. We'll do some problems related to this also. Okay, that's all for now. For negative frequencies also we can find similar way. Okay, that we'll see in the next class.